Hello, I'm Jacob Price. I'm running for the school board representative of the Cloyd District. I'm 48 years old. I have a wife named Jennifer I've been married to for 30 years. I have a daughter named Alexandra who graduated from Pulaski High School in 2010, and I now have a granddaughter who's in pre-K at Riverlawn Elementary. With the exception of my military service, I'm a lifelong resident of Pulaski County. Graduated from Pulaski County High School in 1992. After graduation, I joined the United States Army and served as a combat photographer. While in the Army, I got to travel quite a bit. I lived in Missouri, Colorado, Germany, and Kansas. After completing my 6-year enlistment, I received an honorable discharge and returned to Pulaski County. My wife has a bachelor's degree from Kansas State University in psychology. She has a master's of social work from Radford University and is a licensed clinical social worker with a small business in Blacksburg. After the military time, I came home and worked in the retail field for a couple of years and found that not to be very fulfilling. Decided to make a career change, and it also coincided with the same time the tragedy of 9/11 happened in our country. I put myself through the New River Criminal Justice Training Academy, and before I graduated was hired by Sheriff Jim Davis in 2002. After that, I spent the next 20 years working as a deputy sheriff in Pulaski County. 9 of those years were assigned as a school resource officer in our school system. Most of the time was at the high school, but I've also spent significant amounts of time in both middle and elementary school level. In addition to that, I also had the privilege of being the bailiff in the Juvenile Domestic Relations Court under Judge Lee Chitwood. My final year in law enforcement, I worked as a resource officer at Snowville Elementary. I have a well-established track record of community service. I started chapters of Youth of Virginia Speak Out and helped save the next girl. I participated in the truancy reduction team and the domestic violence prevention team. I also sat on the board of directors for the Pulaski County Christmas Store and the Community Health Center of the New River Valley. In addition to that, I sat on a committee that ultimately resulted in the opening of the Pulaski County Youth Center. One of my favorite achievements, or I'm most proud of, is I was directly involved with the clinic from the Community Health Center being opened at the high school. Since leaving law enforcement, I've worked in the security field. So why do I want to be on the school board? Well, I've spent most of my life in service to our community in one kind or another. I see the school board position as just another opportunity to continue to serve. I think that I'm a really good candidate for the school board because of my very unique perspective, having been the law enforcement officer that worked inside the schools. I had many friends that were teachers and many friends that were administrators, and I believe that those connections are going to be very important. I'm very well acquainted with the needs and challenges of our community, and I've seen how those challenges impact our education system. I have strong and well-established relationships with our teachers, our administrators, our faculty. And another strength I have is my connection with the juvenile justice system, the court service system, and various other helping entities in our community, such as Department of Social Services, Family Preservation, and the Community Health Center. I bring a special expertise in safety and security, and I'm also committed to making sure that our students adhere to reasonable behavior expectations. Some of the bigger problems our schools are facing right now is the level of poverty in this area, home instability, drug and alcohol abuse, the lack of access to mental health services, the learning loss, and the decline in social abilities because of the COVID. One of the bigger issues I see is the shortage of teachers and our custodial staff and bus drivers. I don't think any of these problems are unique to Pulaski County, and I don't think that there's an easy solution. But I do believe that these issues can be addressed and impacted on by careful management of our resources, by thoughtful and engaged conversation, by being open-minded and receptive to new ideas, and of course by finding ways to attract the best teachers and keep them. I think it's also vital that we are aware of our students' needs and recognize how to meet those needs. I think our school system has to remain open to support from our community. I think that we're very fortunate that we have a collection of religious establishments that are very dedicated to the best interest of our students. And we also are rich in civic organizations such as the Lions Club and the Ruitans. I think it's necessary to ensure that our teachers feel like they're valued and appreciated and supported. I think our parents and guardians need to understand that they will have the final say in how and what their students are taught. I think parents should also have an advocate to help them navigate the complexities of the public education system. I believe all students should feel safe in school, that they should be able to have a learning experience that's free from any kind of harassment. I also believe the students need to understand that they will be held accountable for their own actions. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I believe equal access to education is an undeniable right, and therefore it is the duty of this community to make sure that we provide for that education and ensure that the children have a safe and dignified experience. If you agree with these sentiments, I hope you will look for your support in November. Thank you.